Thank you for joining me today on the Garbage Bag Girl podcast. This podcast is about all of us. It's about the things and the ways that make us feel pushed down and small. It is about how the smallest acts of kindness make the biggest impact each day. No one should feel like garbage, ever. Enjoy the show. Hi, my name is Celeste Edmonds, author of Garbage Bag Girl. And we are recording a bunch of episodes that kind of let you get to know me a little bit better and also address some of the most commonly asked questions that I get asked about the book since its release on December 3rd. And the chapter I'm referencing today is chapter 15, and it's called A Bully and a Liar. And it starts off with this. There is one part of my story which has particularly weighed on my heart for 38 years. Though all I went through, I had become a bully and a liar. I needed to admit this. After all these years, I needed to finally own it. I'll let you read the rest of the chapter if you haven't already, but I do get asked why I added this chapter. And the hardest chapter for me to write was the chapter about the last time I saw my father until I decided to add this chapter. And the reason I decided to add it is when I made the decision to write a memoir, and it was basically like writing in your journal and then handing it over to the world and saying, here's my journal. I hope it's okay. I hope what you read about me is a way to help understand other children in the foster care system. But it was also the most personal parts of me. And in order to have you believe in me as an authentic person, I really needed to include something that I'm not proud of. I'm not just a girl that went through a bunch of trauma as a child and lost everything in her life and all of her belongings and everyone that mattered to her, and got moved around every 6 months, carried all my stuff in a garbage bag. All that sounds sad and can also sometimes make me sound like a victim. And although there was also a part of me that happened that I think is a tough conversation for people to have, because it is the conversation around bullying, and whether you are the one that bullies or you have been someone that's been bullied, which I've been on both sides. Neither one of them is an awesome feeling. And in this particular situation for me that occurred when I was in junior high school, in, I believe, 7th grade, I had a lifetime up until that point of rejection, and more than rejection, but very verbally told that I didn't matter and I was never really wanted anyway, and then moved, and then I lost my siblings, and it just kept accumulating until nobody saw me anymore. So the first experience I have of being seen was in 7th grade in junior high school, and a group of what I thought at the time were very popular, very pretty girls noticed me for the first time, and that had never happened my whole life. I was very unnoticeable, in my opinion. And I bullied who was at the time Jennifer, a best friend of mine, somebody that had taken me into her life and into her heart, and just loved me. And I destroyed her life. I wrecked her world. I was part of this group of girls that was very unkind to her beyond anything that is okay. And a lot of people would read my story, or have read my story, and condoned or at least understood how I got to that place. And I understand that perspective as well, but it really isn't the point for me. The point was to own that part of myself that I became, understand how I became her, and really help people to have the conversation around both sides of this conversation. You are the bully, or you're somebody that has been bullied, and both sides are painful. Both sides are uncomfortable. Both sides bring out the worst in humanity. Both sides hurt a lot of people. And really, that chapter isn't about asking anybody to excuse a bad behavior. It isn't at all about that. Bullying is never okay. But it is about creating some understanding around empathy, in that every time we meet someone, every time we talk to somebody, every time we engage with somebody, it is okay to tell yourself, to remind yourself, I have no idea what this person is carrying. I have no idea what their life looks like. I have no idea if they just had a bad day today, and that's why they're yelling at me for no reason. It is okay to ask yourself those questions that create more empathy, and I just think we could all use a little bit more of that. Thank you for joining me today on the Garbage Bag Girl podcast. Always remember, you matter. Please subscribe and share this podcast, and visit CelesteEdmonds.com to join my mailing list.